Because you know why? He's a Frankenstein's monster. Ugh, he's grotesque.
He's so grotesque.
This is part of the lore now, is that we have Frankenstein monsters fighting in the U.S. Army.
Boy, this is always a challenge.
It's always hunting season.
And then it's always hunting season.
Marilyn, how do you feel about the new cars?
New cars? Well, I think that
And how come you didn't ask us to parents' night at school?
parents' night? Where did you hear about that?
Well, dear, I was dusting your room, and I just happened to come across the invitation. It's, next Saturday night, isn't it?
Yes, Marilyn. Don't try to hide anything. You know, in this family, nothing ever stays buried.
The reason I didn't mention it was because of you, Uncle Herman.
Me? Why wouldn't you want me, of all people, to go to parents' night?
Oh, I just didn't think you'd care for it. It's going to be sort of a dinner dance.
Oh, dancing? Why didn't you say so? Dancing has never been one of my strong points. I guess you could say I have 2 left feet.
Hello, and welcome to another amazing, groundbreaking, one-of-a-kind, first ever new episode of the Munster Hunters, the only show that dares to shun millions, billions, trillions, infinite number of streaming offerings from Hulu to Netflix. We say no thanks. We'd rather watch a 60-year-old sitcom about a Frankenstein monster and his grotesque family. My name is Derek, and I'm a Munster Hunter. Joining me this week, as he always does, at the Frankenstein head table, he's walked on ice and never fell. He is Shun DMC, Keith.
Yes. Hello. This is Shun DMC, a.k.a. KG, and I, too, am a Monster Hunter.
And joining us in the radio booth here at WKMUN, yes, it is the Dr. Dre of Kansas, Terry. Terry, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? The weather out here is pretty nice today. It's partly cloudy with a chance of Munsters.
Yes, we're actually like the morning zoo all of a sudden. It's
you can't have the Munsters.
Wolfman and Dre. What?
You can't have the Munsters without a chance of cloudy, cloudy automatic.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yes, that is very true. Very
true. We have the Dr. Dre of Kansas. We have Shun DMC and Derek, you're the Wolfman. Is that was
no? I said Derek the Wolfman and Dre.
Yeah, there we go. Derek,
you're the Wolfman.
I'm the Wolfman.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It was just it was a little bit. It was a throwaway line. Anyway, gentlemen, how you guys doing this week?
I'm doing great. Just chilling, hanging out. Yeah, that's about it, really. Nothing exciting except for looking forward to another delightful Munsters episode.
Delightful Munsters episode. I agree. What about you, Keith? You ready for some delightful Munsters?
I'm here.
You're.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So now instead of talking like this, Keith is going to talk like this.
I'll just sit here quietly or mic close the table and just.
Keith.
This is ASMR.
Because just let me know when you're ready, and I will.
Yeah.
It's just the midnight station. It's like, if you don't change that dial, everyone.
Went from morning zoo to NPR.
Late night with Shun DMC.
We're still taking them calls. Let me know. How's it going tonight, everyone?
Yeah, call in. Make a request. I'm doing good, Derek. How are you?
I was waiting to see when you were going to give me the signal that you were done with your shenanigans.
When you want the official signal for when you're an edit point for you to take that out?
Yeah, don't worry.
Hey, Derek, I'm doing good.
This is where it will start. Yep, those two clowns behind me are Keith and Terry.
Hong Kong. Hello.
And we move on. Let's see. I supposedly asked you how you're doing. It's been a minute since we've recorded another episode.
That's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we're just shaking off the rust or something. And
Harry
today,
took the Scuma down to Florida to get some maintenance done on it. And
Yep, that's right.
he got a fan put on the back, so it's also
Yep.
a Scuma and a fan boat.
oh,
Yep,
that's great.
Little upgrade, you know. It gets hot in the Scuma. We're diving into the depths of hell. Got to get a fan going.
Yeah. Today is episode 22 in the never-ending list of season 1 episodes. Normally this would be, hey, this is a full season right here. Maybe 2 seasons. Nope. We're on episode 22. Dance with Me. Herman is the name of it. I wanted to say Mr. Pepper for some reason, because when I glanced at it, that's what it kind of looked like. But it's not. It's Dance with Me, Herman. But before we do that, we need to grab the candle, traverse down the hallway. Not going to run because that's a weird image. We're going to traverse down a hallway. Watch out for the low-hanging fruit, the Twizzlers, the ghosts, the rats, the rat shit, all the other stuff that's in there. Cobwebs. Open the gate. Into the giant. What did we call it last time? Oh my goodness.
Church.
Cathedral?
Cathedral, yeah.
It was something. Well, anyway, we're in there. No Indiana Jones stuff. No time for love,
Nope.
Dr. Jones. We need this book, this giant tome, dusty. Load off, open up. It creaks now. Drop down to one knee, hold it up. Altar boy to priest style for Keith for the weekly Munster Hunter tidbit, factoid, fact shit. I don't even know. It's been so long. Of the week.
All right. Hold on. Looking around. Nope. No giant boulders rolling, so we're okay.
Oh, good call.
Nothing going on here. Let me open up the book. We're going to go to...
I already opened the book. Hold on.
All right. Okay. Let me flip through a couple pages here. Let's get to No Strain.
Appreciate my space work and my descriptive storytelling, Keith.
No Strain 217.
Ooh, I like this. This is my favorite.
Yeah. So I was skimming around on eBay today.
Okay.
And I decided to look up Munsters collectibles and checked out some of the more pricier items that are either still available or have recently sold over there on the old eBay. Currently, the top thing that's sold in like the last few months is a set of 3 Munsters slot machines from a private collection.
Ooh.
How much do you think those sold for?
It's 65,000.
I'm going to go
$3,000.
That's
I was
it?
close.
Yeah.
You can let Terry guess. I was so
Yeah, I
close.
was
You're
about
like,
to-
well,
Yeah.
that's a gimme putt.
There's something out there. There's a set of porcelain figures by a company called Tweeterhead.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, okay.
And I didn't see a Marilyn one sold, but the Lily one was on the list as it lists as 3,000, but they did accept the best offer, so maybe not exactly 3,000.
Did you make an offer, Keith?
I did not.
$85.
No, these are the recently sold things.
Oh, okay.
There's a Munsters Nevermore, which is the clock with Spot's tail wrapped around it.
Yeah.
That was 1,800, but they accepted a best offer. Best offer could have been $5. I don't know. I doubt it though. The Grandpa Tweeterhead, 14,000. The Herman Tweeterhead was 1,000. That's no best offer. That's how much those went for.
Wow.
14,000? Is that what you said?
I'm sorry, 1,400 is what I
Oh,
said there, and then
Jesus.
1,000.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And then, so you guys ever hear of Magic Slate?
I don't think so.
No, it sounds like
It's-
something from an infomercial.
And it's kind of like Etch-a-Sketch, but
Oh.
Derek, you and I would remember, like if you got the one that looks like it was on a piece of cardboard, like if you drew
Yep,
out, then you
I
just
know what you're
lifted
talking
the
about.
plastic. Yeah. So in 1965, Munster's Magic Slate recently sold, part of the Kevin Burns collection. And guesses on what that would
$400.
I'm gonna guess 800.
$1,475.
Wow.
For a piece of cardboard? Was it used?
It looked like it was used, but I mean, it's part of like somebody's collection, I guess. Munster's Flicker Rings vending machine display card.
A display card for the Munsters.
Yeah,
For a vending machine.
I guess some kind of little rings you could get.
$325.
I'm gonna go $800.
$874 for a sheet of paper. couple other things that are on here. 1964 Leaf trading cards, a set of 72 with a wrapper, went for about $800 each.
Dang.
Wow.
A full box of wax packs of that same set went for $695. A partial set of those, 47 of the 72 cards, sold for $570.
Jeez.
There's some 1964 Remco bobbleheads that I saw. There was a Lily and Grandpa together. It looked like they were out of the box, $750. Lily, Grandpa, and Herman still in the box, $900.
Mm-hmm.
A lunchbox from 1965 for $562.
Dear God.
A 1964 Cincinnati Enquirer Sunday photo section with Herman on it, $432.
Wow. Okay.
Now, items still available out there.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah. A sealed set of 1964 Leaf wax packs. So the set of cards, a sealed pack of
Never been opened?
Never been opened, like a full box of them.
Don't trust it. Don't trust it. It's because those wax packs you can get like a hair dryer and open.
Well, no, the whole box is sealed.
With what?
There's like a plastic wrap around it, like
I don't trust it either.
Well, it's how it originally came. That is going for almost $7,500.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
Are there bids for it at that much, or is that how much they're asking?
No, it's how much they're asking for.
Oh, they're starting at that, really?
Yeah. The full Tweederhead porcelain set, so it includes Herman, Lily, Grandpa, Eddie, Marilyn, and the Nevermore one. $4,995 is the asking price.
That's pretty big, but okay.
A 2001 Munsters Barbie thing. It's Herman and Lily, but I guess they're made in like Barbie style. It's $1,398 is starting asking price.
2001.
Yeah.
Okay.
1964 Munsters card game that we've talked about here previously.
Yep.
Okay.
Currently asking $1,150. And then there's a whole bunch of various props that are on there from like the show.
Oh, sweet.
Through it's like Hollywood A1 auctions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of different things, but I did notice they have a pair of buttons that I am matching buttons. $1,105 the opening asking price.
Buttons for what? Like Herman's
Like
jacket?
a shirt?
I think so. Yeah, like I think maybe Herman's jacket or something. Like one's looks like it's red, the other one's black. It does not explain what they're for though.
One for the recolored version and one for the normal version.
Just shirt buttons?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I mean, anybody could put a button on eBay and say it's from Herman Munster, right?
Yeah, but this the A1 auctions people, they're a legit like prop auction group.
All right.
So they're not just making up stuff. I would imagine they're not making up stuff there because they have stuff from more than just the Munsters available for auctions, all Hollywood memorabilia type stuff. So that's what I had for the Almanac this week.
Nice.
Munsters collectibles on eBay.
There you go. I didn't know there's such like a market for Munster stuff. I need to get in on this, the black market, start selling these props, go in the underground. I can make some serious money off of this.
I mean, I can only imagine how much the Almanac will eventually go for.
Oh, yes. That's right. Yeah, that's just every episode we do, that's building up profit right there. Yeah.
Bring Norm's bloated corpse back from the Scuma. That's probably going to go for something good, too.
Yeah, anyway, you got to meet me in an alley to go buy that.
Terry, what? You and I are talking. Where'd Derek go?
I think he's waiting for us to get done again.
Yeah, you guys are having a lot of fun.
He's checking out that new fan on the Scuma.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about how I could just get any corpse and say it's Norm Abbott's and put it on eBay. I mean, I have just piles of them out here. So at the Munster Hunters compound.
Wait, that's Derek's section of the compound? The corpse pile?
No, Terry, you're not the fourth Terry. You are the first one.
Interesting.
Derek,
that's
we weren't supposed to tell him.
Silly.
So you might be implying I haven't survived every Scuma trip?
Well,
nope. Sacrifices must be made for us to get back out of.
Let us ascend the stairs, the 196 stone steps, Up to the surface, out the kitchen, out the back door, down the pathway, out the gate, onto the dock, onto the ship, where Captain Terry is going to lead this doomed boat 3 miles out in international waters.
Wait a second.
Where we will descend to the depths of hell for another Scuma.
All right. Well, if it's doomed, we're gonna go down in style. Really,
it's
really
doomed
high,
for
right?
one of us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know who it could be, but So yeah, this episode was directed by Joseph Pevney. We've talked about him a couple times. He directed Herman's Arrival and Eddie's Nickname before this. Eddie's Nickname, one of my favorites. I like that one quite a bit.
And Herman's Arrival with the greatest last 2 minutes of any episode ever.
Yeah, that's true. He's also got 8 more episodes of the Munsters to go. He's directed a lot of movies in the 50s, including one that stars Leslie Nielson. This movie is called Tammy and the Bachelor.
Oh, I like the sound of this.
Yeah,
Leslie Nielsen plays Tammy.
Nope, he certainly doesn't. It's a romance movie. It's a classic scenario. Tammy is a woman who is raised in the Mississippi swamps, and she falls for this very worldly rich man. You know, it's the two worlds collide: the swamp life, the rich life. And the rich guy's played by Leslie Nielsen.
It's the classic tale. Tammy is a woman.
Yes.
That, for some reason, I thought that's where the sentence was going to end. I don't know.
No. There's some swamp involved, but it's kind of the classic fish out of water thing. You know, he's like introducing her to high class society. They fall in love. You know, according to the trailer, it doesn't seem like they kind of accepted her at first. But I assume it works out, you know. Maybe it does have a sad ending, I don't know. But I assume everything's going to be okay. And I bet you she teaches him a little something along the way. To quote the trailer, "Can't you see, Pete? You're just one of a line that goes back beyond the time of knowing. A line of people who ever wrestled with the earth to get their living from it." So yeah, that's just a little taste of the wisdom you'll get from this. Yes, so poignant. But then this episode was written by James Allardyce. I still don't know if I'm ever saying that right. It's fine. He can tweet us and tell me if I'm getting it wrong.
They all float down here.
That's right. If I ever do say it right, then he'll come and haunt me.
You say it one more time, Terry, and it's going to come out the mirror. And that's what makes this Scuma trip doomed.
That's right, yeah. I started repeating some things
the
too many
Dice Man.
times.
That's what...
The Dice Man. Oh, God.
The Dice Man cometh.
You rolled 3. That means death. So, yeah. That guy, we won't say his name, Tom Adair, Joe Connolly, and Bob Mosher all wrote this episode.
I didn't pause to look at the names, but there was a lot of people that wrote this episode.
Yes, so that's a good sign, right? There's
Always.
a lot of people working on this.
Well, that's because one is specifically assigned to the closing line of every episode.
Yes. One person's on staff to come up with the finisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've somehow managed to keep their jobs.
What's this episode about? Don't worry, just write us a line.
Yes. We'll work it in. They all get the teleplay credit for this, but James, insert name here that I won't mention again,
Just in
and Tom
case.
Adair are the ones, they get the story credit. So I guess they came up with the idea, and then these other guys like swooped in to help them finish the script. We've talked about all of these people like a trillion times, and we will get plenty of more chances to talk about them because this is like the greatest hits right here of Munsters. So that's maybe it is a good sign that all these guys got a little piece of the pie. So we'll just float past these guys for now. It's fine.
Nice.
You know, yeah. But we do have some guest stars.
We do.
We've got Don Rickles.
The big one. That was the biggest guest star.
He plays Doc Happy Havermeyer. And we've got Joyce Jameson as Miss Valentine.
And she was good, too.
Yeah. So Don Rickles is actually somebody I recognized. Yeah, that was kind of exciting. 88 acting credits on IMDb, goes from 1955 to 2015. You know, the thing I know him from the most is Mr. Potato Head in the Toy Story movies. But, you know, he was also in a Martin Scorsese film, Casino, which I have never seen, but I've heard is good.
You've never seen Casino? Wow.
I have not.
He's great in that.
He gets a whipping in that movie.
Does he?
Oh, God, yeah. Old man getting his ass beat.
We'll have to see that for sure, then.
I know. That's That draws him in every time.
Yes.
Stand out front of the theater with a sign spinning around. Old man getting ass beat. Ooh, old man getting ass beat.
My head turns every time. Go, oh, interesting. Let's just put that as the tagline on the poster. I'll go.
Yep.
But so he's done some good stuff. I mean, I was looking through his other stuff. He had a show, the Don Rickles show.
Yeah.
There's only 8 episodes, but he had his own show, so good for him. His biggest recurring role on TV was probably the CPO Sharky, is what it was called.
I have no idea what that means.
It's from the 70s. It's like a CPO. I think is like a position in the Army or the Navy or something. It's like a rank because it's about he plays like the main guy, CPO Otter Sharky. And he's got a sharp tongue and he's a Navy man. That's basically the premise of the show. It went for 37 episodes. He was also in a movie called X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yes, I mean, that is enticing. You put that on a little billboard and all that turns my head as well. It's about a doctor who uses a formula to give himself X-ray vision. And he becomes a hero of sorts, I guess. He's helping people who are less fortunate than him. He's assisting with medical operations. But he's got to get into some mischief too, right? I mean, there's a scene when he's like, he's at a party and all of a sudden everybody's clothes are gone. He's like, oh dear. And he also, as the trailer puts, defies the goddess of chance, and he goes to casinos and wins it big. Apparently, it won an award. The movie in the trailer said Silver Globe Award winner at the Science Fiction Film Fest. So, it has to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Don Rickles did not have a huge part in it, but his name was in the trailer, so they were advertising it. So good for him.
I mean, there's the one time. He's the biggest comedian out there at one point in time.
He was the king of insult comics, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he hung out with Sinatra and all those guys back in the day. Huge out there in that whole Vegas land. I think the best story I've ever heard repeated in a couple different places about him was he was eating someplace and he had his date with him, and Frank Sinatra was there. He saw him, so as he went by, he's like, "Hey, Frank, later, walk by a table, say hello to me." So, it'll impress the young lady. And Frank Sinatra walks over and goes to introduce himself and say hello. And Don Rickles apparently goes, so I'm like, damn it, Frank, I'm trying to eat here. Can you please leave me be? Yeah.
Nice.
But he was a very big deal. And I think he was still doing stand-up even
until he died,
yeah.
Really?
Which was just a year or two ago.
I didn't know he was hanging out with Frank Sinatra. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who big Vegas comedian type thing back in the day.
We've also got Joyce Jameson, who's got 118 acting credits on IMDb from 1951 to 1984. She did a bunch of these shows that we always talk about on here, like the Dick Van Dyke Show, Red Skeleton Hour, My Favorite Martian, that kind of thing. She was also in CPO Sharky, so she would have hung out with Don Rickles, at least for an episode. Yeah. Again, I should say, she was hanging out with him in this episode for quite a bit. She will be in a future Munsters episode as a different character, so she'll be back. Yeah, exciting. It's always fun.
Terminator.
I don't know if we've ever seen anybody come back yet. I don't know who's going to be first to return. Maybe it'll be her. I don't know. But she was also in a movie starring Clint Eastwood. The trailer for this is, I've never seen a trailer quite presented like that. A lot of these old trailers are just weird, and they try all these strange things. The movie is called Every Which Way But Loose.
With the monkey, the chimp.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the trailer has a couple discussing Clint Eastwood, and the man's asking the woman some questions. So I'm going to ask you guys the same questions.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
What do you think of Clint Eastwood?
He's no Joe Cool.
All right. Well, can you imagine Clint Eastwood punching a wise guy?
I can't. No.
Oh.
Not anymore.
All right. Well, can you picture him falling hard for a sweet young thing who's got her eye on him?
Not actually tripping? Yes, sure.
Eastwood comes across as the type of guy that doesn't fall hard for no dame.
I'll probably agree with that, actually.
Yeah.
He's too hard-edged, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I shouldn't be putting my own opinion in here. I'm asking the questions here.
Plus, the Fall Guy, was the one who made Eastwood such a star. And so, Lee Majors probably, did all these things that you're asking about, and just made Eastwood look good about it.
So
I have 100% confidence that Terry has no idea what you're talking.
Yep, that's great.
I'm just agreeing. That's just what I do.
The theme song to the TV show The Fall Guy says, "I'm just an unknown stuntman who made Eastwood such a star."
I see. Okay.
Lee Majors.
Nice. Cool.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, I'm gonna go, but let me go check these things back here in the back of the school.
Sure.
You guys keep talking.
I'll just keep asking these questions. Okay. So, how about him fighting for money? Could you see that?
Yes, definitely. He comes across as a money hungry, broke Hollywood star.
Man, Keith,
I thought you were leaving.
He would fight $1 million baby.
He's just in the back. We can hear him. Can you see him allowing a woman to beat up on him?
Hell no.
I can. He seems weak.
Well, what do you think of Clint Eastwood confining his deepest, darkest secrets to an orangutan?
To me, that sounds like commonplace for him. I guarantee he owns several orangutans, and he tells each of them like conflicting stories, and then if one leaks to the press, he knows which one it was.
Hey, is it supposed to be leaking back here?
No. That's fine. Yeah, just let that. That's the coolant. We need that to leak in here to keep us nice and chill. But yeah, the premise of this movie is he's a truck driver turned prize fighter who hangs out with an ape. So that was pretty blind blowing. I did not see that coming.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean that's a great premise. I mean Clint Eastwood and an ape. Yeah. Name a more iconic duo than that.
Can't.
I assume he also falls in love with somebody.
The ape.
I guess a woman beats him up at some point. I don't know. Not sure.
It's a woman ape. That's the only type of woman that could beat up Clint Eastwood. Is an ape in a dress.
An ape in a dress.
He didn't realize it. The ape Bugs Bunnyed him.
Oh yeah.
So, fresh.
And then as soon as he did, then he did like a little stick the tongue out and go.
And then went down a rabbit hole or an ape hole.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's Clint Eastwood as we've never seen him before. It's definitely a classic. I'll also mention Joyce was in Death Race 2000, which is a movie I've actually heard of, so I suppose I should say that. But yeah, there it is. Some Clint Eastwood movies, Death Race.
Oh, man.
I want to see like Disney or Marvel like pick up these old trailer ways and do some of that instead of like all these trailers that all seem to be the exact same thing.
What do you think of Ant-Man? Oh, he's all right, I guess, but think about it sometimes. Do you think you could imagine punching out a wise guy? I guess. I mean, he's Ant-Man. He's kind of a wise guy, right? Anyways, yeah.
I saw 3 different trailers today at the theater, and like they each had like the same beat. 2 of them had Kendrick Lamar involved with them, and I'm like, okay, we get it. You're gonna have like some, it's catchy tune. We're jumping through a whole bunch of different things. I would rather see something of like these just weird ones that make you go like, what the hell is this movie about? Like I'm more intrigued by that instead of just this like copycat thing all the time.
More meta trailers where like the producer comes out on screen and is like, let me tell you about my latest picture, and then he like talks about this is the boldest story I've ever seen. I couldn't help but bring it to the screen. Yeah, that's what we need. More stuff like that. But anyways, we're gonna just go ahead and slowly pull up before we get sucked into hell itself.
There's no way I'm going up slow. I have been on the beach catching crabs this whole time.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I like crabs. Not to eat, but just to play with. They're fun. Anyway, once you guys get up here.
Nature's playmate, as they say.
That is what they say about crabs. Crabs, nature's playmate. This week, episode 22, Dance With Me, Herman. Original air date, February 17th, 1965. And it gets, is it lofty? 7.3 on IMDb. It is, it's within a range. I guess it's within the margin of error.
What's the margin of error? So,
Plus or minus 6. So,
oh God.
Plus or minus
between
over
a 1.3 and a
point.
13.3 is what this.
Oh,
was.
I thought you were meaning like the point,
No.
the point. Okay, wow. Okay,
It's within the margin of error.
I'd agree with that statement. Definitely within the margin. Man.
So, in this episode, Herman decides to take dancing lessons in order to accompany Marilyn to her college dinner dance.
Yeah, it sounds a little different. Something fun and a cool premise.
Mm-hmm. And this episode opens up like no other episode has opened up before. A hearse pulls up to the Munsters' house. The back door opens. Herman slides out, and he's coming back from work. It's his carpool. That's what I wrote down. He carpooled to work. Thanks, Charlie.
That was awesome. I love learning more about Herman's work. This is great. He carpools with somebody named Charlie. Like that's great. He's got a friend, I assume.
What if it's his twin brother?
Oh, you're right. Oh my! What if they both work at the same place?
Oh my goodness!
That'll be a later episode for sure.
Knock wood. It's not.
He even tells him come back next morning at 9.
Yeah. See you tomorrow at 9. Lily, Pussycat is home. Oh boy. Lily's at the door waiting for Herman. Lily has an envelope, and it isn't mail, but she's still upset about it. Herman's like, "Is that mail?" No, but I'm still angry. I'm like, "Whoa!" She must get mail that pisses her off quite a bit. But she found. What's that?
A lot of hate mail. The Munsters, they get a lot. Yeah.
Go away, Munsters. Anyway, she found this envelope while snooping around Marilyn's room, aka putting up new cobwebs. Herman thinks it's a love letter. He's like, "Ooh, let's read it." And Lily's like, "No, it's not a love letter. It's an invitation to parents' night at the school, and Marilyn hasn't even asked them to go." Herman's like, well, Lily assumes that they're ashamed of him.
Yeah, which why would you be?
I don't know.
Yeah, Marilyn is never once in these 22 episodes now. She's never once made anything to where she feels that she's embarrassed by them.
Nope.
Why would we suddenly think that she is?
I don't know. But let's bring it up at dinner. That's Lily's plan.
If anything, I'd be more embarrassed by the fact that Uncle Herman got way too excited about reading a love letter of mine coming to my school, parent night.
Yeah, that would be more embarrassing for sure.
For sure. But anyway, Lily she's like, well, we should bring it up at dinner. Herman's like, well, maybe she forgot. Things are popping out of my head all the time. But unlike you, I mean, we can always put what you lose back in, right? Because he's a Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Banger. Cool. We're there.
Very quick intro. Very quick cold open.
Yes, it was quick.
Yeah, we got to
get right to the point. It's like, oh, there is a parents' night, and we're bringing it up to Marilyn at dinner. Banger. Come back. Lily is sitting at the table and reminding us what just happened less than 2 minutes ago. Remember, we're going to tell her. Yes. Now, Lily has a plan to bring it up casually. Yes. And I really like this because it's like an improv exercise. I'm going to start with cars, and that'll lead to driving, and then driving to school, and then parents' night. And Herman, he's on board. He's like, I get it. That's what we'll do. Perfect. And then just as they decide what they're going to do, everyone else walks in, and Grandpa's pumped because it all looks so good. Oh, it looks so good.
I don't know why for this episode, like it startled me when Grandpa showed up because he's like, oh yeah, he exists. I don't know why, like my brain was just like,
yeah,
who is this guy? He really made his presence known to me, and it just threw me off for a second.
I was a little surprised she didn't say what they were eating. They're usually big on announcing like what the meal is.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh.
Like,
or at least you can tell what it is.
Roasted.
I couldn't tell what this was.
Yeah.
But
porridge, maybe.
Yeah, well, there was definitely some sort of gelatinous goo. So they all sit down and Lily kind of clears her throat and gives Herman a look. And then we hear what we had listened to up top yesterday. What do you think about cars? Blah, blah, blah. So I really, really, really enjoyed Herman losing all sight of the plan and and what about parents' night? Why didn't you ask us? But the look on Lily's face, her face just goes straight staring daggers.
Yes.
I loved it.
I laughed heartily as soon as he just jumped right to it.
I laughed. That was probably the most I've laughed at a Munsters in a while.
It's not like he even stumbled through it. He just was like,
Yes.
And why didn't you invite us?
Yep.
You knew he was just focusing on the end goal. He totally forgot. Yeah, he was just like, all right.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we find out Herman does not like dancing.
Yep, that's why Marilyn didn't want to invite him.
Nope. And Lily's
again, she loves Uncle Herman and Aunt Lily. She's not embarrassed of them at all. She's thinking about them.
Yeah. Marilyn just doesn't want to upset Herman because she knows he hates dancing.
And Grandpa chimes in saying, hey, you can't hide anything. Everything stays buried. And we all know Grandpa just spies on the whole family all the time with his crystal ball anyways, so...
Yes, so it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But Herman doesn't want to make a fool of himself, and we get a Herman tantrum. He slams his hand on the table, and then some goop flies in the air and lands on his head. And it was goop. It was straight up like banana pudding. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it looked like maybe like a pie of some, like, it looked like there was maybe some crust. Like, was it a pie or dessert or something? I didn't know what it was at first when it first took off on the table. It was weird. Because I didn't even notice it was on the table until you see something kind of float up. And I don't know if the same thing that floated up is what they dropped back on top of them.
Knowing the Munsters, the one-take Munsters, they didn't sit there and practice Herman launching something into the sky and having it land on his head. So I guarantee there's something different dropped on him.
I'm also assuming that, like, when they film an episode, something like that they do at the very end because they're going to have to clean Herman up and take the makeup off and stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, makes sense.
Maybe, but I almost feel like this show is shot in sequence in order. But I could be wrong. So Lily and Herman, we cut to Lily and Herman dancing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Lily's trying to get Herman to dance, and Herman's having a real rough time. And Lily's like, Herman, you're so stiff. And Grandpa says, yeah, Herman, let everything go. Which I don't know why Grandpa's sitting there watching him, but whatever. It's like
that's
a
what
weird...
he does. He likes to watch. Yeah.
It's creepy.
But I'll try. But last time I let everything go, some of it didn't come back. And then the waltz continues. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Herman backs into the organ. A bunch of shit flies out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Herman knocks over a lamp, and all the cobwebs catch on fire. And this is a practical effect because it's 1964 TV, and they burn, and it looked really cool.
This was weird. It looked cool. It almost looked to me like they had like some sort of like ring light or something that was like pushing it back, but like it looked really good. It looked like real fire. So I can't tell if they just like let fire go loose.
I think they did.
All that asbestos probably was just like easy to. Just burn, you know. Whatever
they're using for the cobwebs apparently burns really nice and doesn't spread a lot. But I also thought that, like, I'm sitting there going, man, that's kind of cool in the background. But it almost then seemed like they started moving the other way, maybe to get away from, so it wouldn't be on screen the whole time. Like, I can just see the director being like, move over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because eventually, you don't get to see it. But yeah, I was like, oh man, that looks awesome in the background.
Yeah, it was very cool. And then they continue 1, 2, 3, and Herman's like, "I'm getting the knack of it." And then he hits the coffee table and it flies by Grandpa's head. 1, 2, 3. Herman's got a huge grin on his face, and then he falls over the couch. And Grandpa goes timber, and Herman gets his head caught in a harp, which is an interesting choice of things, but I think is a funny visual.
It is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to shout out a Frankenstein's monster joke I did think was funny. I think he says it around here where he says, Herman says he has 2 left feet. And I was like, okay, that's pretty good. That's something a little different than me.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally.
That was earlier at the table. Yeah. Grandpa's like, well, that's what you'd get when putting somebody together in a hurry or something like that.
In the dark.
In the dark, yep.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of funny. So good job on that one, I guess.
So Herman, head caught in a harp, says, I think I just got some new respect for Lawrence Welk. Like, neat. So Grandpa, Lily, Marilyn, and Eddie are all yanking his head out. And they finally get it out. And it like makes a clank sound. And Herman says, I think they're playing our song. Cut 2, Grandpa in the dungeon going to mix up a potion that'll make Herman dance. And get ready for these exotic ingredients. Potassium. Chlorophyll, Geritol, some bitters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then the secret ingredient, Fred Astaire's dancing shoes. So he throws those in, and it makes like a tap dancing noise. And Grandpa is mixing the cauldron, listening to it like, yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure that's how Hammer Time starts also. or Hammer
Yeah,
Man.
magical
Hammer
shoes.
Starts, yeah.
Oh yeah, you need in a modern dancing thing. You just need Hammerman shoes to do it.
So Herman comes down and complains about the smell when he making lasagna again, which was weird because I love lasagna.
Yeah, that smells good.
And Grandpa's like, "Well, I mixed up a potion." And Herman's like, "I want to drink a thing that you're whipping up." Grandpa says, "You'll be a failure." And Herman says, "Nuh-uh, I'm going to take dancing lessons." And I found him in the paper. And he reads the thing. It's like all these different dances. The Wawatusi was on there. Grandpa says, "Watch out for scams." He didn't say "watch out for scams." He says a word that I think might be a slur, so I'm gonna just skip over it.
Mm-hmm.
And Herman goes, "But the ad says, let us bring out the inner you at our low monthly rate, and it's signed Happy Havemeyer, Doctor of Terpescore." I wrote it down, but I can't remember what he said. I looked it up. Keith, did you look it up?
Terpsichore?
Terpsichore, yes.
I think it's the best way to do it. It is a compendium of more than 300 instrumental dances published in 1612 by German composer Michael Pretorius.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The collection takes its name from the Muse of Dance. His introduction, he takes credit for arranging the music rather than composing the tunes.
Yeah, because when I Googled Terpsichore or Terpsichore or whatever it was, it's a Greek muse for poetry and dance.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
So,
I think I've seen that thing next to the Almanac every once in a while.
Probably.
Yeah.
So now we cut to the ballroom dancing lessons. Happy Havemeyer, he's on the phone. Don Rickles. He's like, yep, hangs up. And there's Miss Valentine just standing there. And he's like, well, sit down. You're a new instructor at Happy Land, and I need to give you the deets. So really, he says something along the lines of most of our clients are widowers, lonely types, misfits, rubes. Just like they're plain old morons.
Yes.
And we have a plan for them. We take them for all they've got. Okie doke. Cut back to Marilyn wondering where Uncle Herman is. He left awfully early. Lily says, well, that's because Herman signed up for dancing lessons and for Marilyn's school thing. This is all your fault. And Marilyn's wondering why he never learned when he was younger. You think he would. He's like 7 million years old. Nope. He was always tied up in the lab when people were doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yep. There's a lot of Frankenstein's monsters jokes in this episode, actually.
I would say it's a little overstuffed with them, but yeah.
Because he's a Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, yes.
So Lily's concern is that the women instructors, I hope they don't fall in love with Herman and his gentle charms. Very plausible.
Could happen.
Yeah. Cut to back at Happy Land. Miss Valentine screams and comes running in back into Happy Haberdasher or whatever name is his office. You need to see what just walked in, which was funny. Oh, you got to see him. She's like, oh my God, you got to see this thing. And he's like, oh, get out of here. You need to expect all kinds. I told you this. Go back and turn on the charm. And it's basically, the plan is get him hooked with flattery, tell him to sign a 10-year contract, which seems very nefarious.
10
like a
years.
10-year contract?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's very excessive for dancing lessons. I mean, I don't know. Do you sign up? I mean, maybe I could see like a yearly contract, but 10 years?
It's worse than Columbia House.
I was gonna say it's worse than like a fitness center type thing.
Oh yeah, it's like a gym.
Get you.
No cancellations. Anyway, she says, I'll try, but it's times like this I wish I stayed in the roller derby. So Miss Valentine comes back in. Herman's like, there you are. You left so fast I thought the place was on fire. And she goes, no such luck.
Yes, I love that.
She wishes she was dying in a flaming inferno.
Yeah.
Instead of dealing with Herman. She turns on the music, puts on some dark sunglasses because that'll keep her from seeing Herman, I guess. And they start to dance. She's like, put your hand on my waist. Herman pulls out a napkin or something and puts on his arm. I have no clue what that is, but he says he saw Robert Montgomery do it once. Keith?
You know what? I couldn't remember what the guy's name was. I was trying to look that up. But I was just also like, that's just weird. Like, I don't even care who Robert Montgomery is. That just seems like a weird thing to do.
I mean, he's like, he doesn't want to touch him. Maybe he's got a thing about like germs. It's like, I'll just put a napkin between me and the The other person? I don't know.
No, Robert Montgomery. He's an actor. He was in Night Must Fall from 1937, Lady in the Lake from 1946, where he played Philip Marlowe. But I don't think I see anything that would really call out that or a reason why he would have put a thing around on his arm first. So I thought that was a weird thing. I'm sure a lot of people back in 1964 were like, "Oh yeah, that." Like, but no, I have no clue what it's about.
He probably does it in a movie or something.
Yeah,
who knows?
I thought in one of our recent in the Eddie nickname episode where he talks about the guy from Father Knows Best, like he wanted Eddie to come down so he could rest his arm on the mantle.
Yes,
is a much better version of what he's trying to do here with this line.
It's just a reference that we don't get because we weren't born in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Anywho, she goes
kind of like Terry with my Fall Guy thing earlier.
Yep.
Yeah,
You just smile and nod. That's what I did there in this episode. I was like, okay.
So anyway, they're dancing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They dance, and Herman knocks over the chalkboard while the dance steps on it. Tell me, Mr. Munster, have you ever danced professionally? No, I could never tell. And Herman is giddy, and he laughs. And he's like, this is fun.
Yes, he's loving this. I love it when Herman just gets so happy that he just starts laughing, like out of pure happiness. He doesn't think it's funny. He just is joy. That's just joy in his heart.
I really enjoy Herman in this episode.
Yes.
And for all of his shenanigans, he doesn't get yelled at a single bit in this episode. So
You're
it's
right.
so weird.
Yeah. Nobody lays the hammer down on him and really
not
gives
once.
him his...
Like Lily doesn't even yell at him, call him a dunderhead or anything for blowing it at the table earlier. She's
for catching the fire on the walls. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. So we cut back. Lily is poking the fire at home. Yoo-hoo, Lily, I'm home. And he's so excited because Miss Valentine said he's a natural born talent. And Lily's excited too. She knows everyone will be watching them when they're dancing at the ball.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Mm-hmm. So Herman was told that he might even make him a teacher after a few more lessons. And he read this in one of the fan mags. That's how Gene Kelly started out as a teacher. And then we get Gene Kelly's IMDb page. He did this, they did this, they did this. And then he finished on Singing in the Rain. Like, I'm assuming they're like, boy, our episode's 2 minutes short. What are we going to do?
This is like a weird tangent. It ends in a funny spot, but I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? Why am I hearing about this man's career? Yeah, it was just weird.
But I will say, I did enjoy, like, much as like when Herman was singing back at the ham radio episode, I really enjoyed him like singing the stuff from Singing in the Rain and dancing around. Because again, he genuinely seems to be having fun with this.
Yep.
Yep.
He's singing and dancing.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Fred Gwynn himself is having a blast. Like, I'm gonna dress up a Frankenstein monster, but I'm gonna sing Gene Kelly and dance around, and he seems to personally be loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sells it. I love. Yeah. Herman, you're right, Derek. He is like the star of this episode. I love him
for sure. These episodes like this where Herman just being goofy, love him.
Yep.
So he's dancing and spinning around, and of course he loses his balance, falls over the couch, harp noise. Lily says, Marilyn, Grandpa, come on. Like, he's in the harp again. Like, this has happened not just twice in this episode, but it's a pretty common occurrence. So much so that you'd think they'd move the harp out of that room.
I've never seen anybody play the harp. Maybe just get rid of it. Yeah.
The babysitter is the only person who I've ever seen play the harp, because then it played back and she was unfazed.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's her harp. Yeah, that makes sense.
So Grandpa comes up from the dungeon. Oh boy, he's got his head stuck in the harp again. Like, Grandpa's excited about it. The clockbird says,
what a crack up.
What a crack up, which doesn't fit into his
nope,
character.
not at all.
A joke or anything. Yeah.
So Herman says, please watch the face. I'm going to be a star. Like, my face is the moneymaker. Don't mess that up, y'all. We cut back. Herman and Miss Valentine, they're dancing. Shadows on the curtain. I like this. They're like really boogieing. And then you pan over to them. They're going nuts.
It's a great shot. I love that. Like the silhouette first and then pan over. That was like, that's some style. You don't really get that a whole lot in this show.
That was a nice creative choice. Then we cut into Mr. Havenmeyer. His entire office is shaking. And that'll be weird because we'll find out why later. But they're in Studio A, Havenmeyer's office shaking. Cut back to Studio A. Miss Valentine and Herman, they're just doing what the fuck ever.
Yes,
like,
just waving their arms.
They're just flailing around. Herman, he's laughing, he's clapping.
Yes.
The music stops. He keeps going. He keeps dancing. Miss Valentine yells at him, Mr. Munster, the music has stopped. And then Herman, with the moment, I really love this part. Don't bring me back now. I'm too far out.
Yes, I love
Man,
this.
it's Wig City.
Yes.
I don't know what Wig City is, but I love the visual.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome because it feels like he's found a new passion. You know, like when he went on stage for that robot episode when he's dancing and doing all that.
Exactly.
This feels like he's found like his new love in life, and it's dancing. And he doesn't, even with no music, he dances with his own beat, you know? Like, it's great.
It definitely has that same energy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So, it's Wig City. Yep.
Oh, yes.
The lesson is over, and Miss Valentine throws the 10-year lesson pitch at him. Like, listen, you're the best we've ever seen. We need you to sign this special thing. And it's a huge stack of papers. And she says, they're all stapled together so you don't have to bother with the fine print. Oh, that's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
And then he begins signing. Just signing papers willy-nilly.
Yeah, if I ever get a contract and someone says those exact words to me, I will immediately start reading the fine print.
I immediately take it to the lawyer to read over. Cut 2, we are at the breakfast table. Eddie wants to take Spot to school today, which I thought was a nice little twist. And Lily's like, no, he's being punished because he got out last night and ate all the neighbors' trash cans. Not the trash, but the whole can.
Mm-hmm.
Herman comes walking down to the kitchen. He's pleased as punch. He's in a good mood. Grandpa, how's Gene Kelly this morning? Very kind of condescending.
Yeah.
Herman's great. The dance studio signed me up for a 10-year contract. Does not raise a single red flag. They're like, everyone's like, oh, 10 years. Good for you, Herman.
Yeah. Like,
and
don't you think that's a little excessive? I don't know. Like, there's no questioning. I mean, I guess maybe if they're just happy that he's happy, you know. Yeah. Seems like he could do this for 10 years. He's having such a fun time.
Sure. Dancing makes you younger, I guess.
And also, I mean, it's also being... And maybe that's the reason that Herman didn't like think much about signing it and then like just sets down, because the whole time he's been telling people that, oh, they want to make me a teacher. So he signed a 10-year contract to be a teacher is probably what I think he thought. And like, that's how he's presented it when he comes and sits down.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, like, yeah. He is very excited about teaching dance.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah, he is. He's all for it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, let's do it. Let's do it to it. And he's about ready to sit down and enjoy some breakfast, but there's a horn honk. Well, that's the carpool. Gotta go. And then for some reason, I'm assuming they were another 45 seconds short.
Yes.
We see a sped up Herman drink some coffee, go outside, go out the door, go through the hallway, out the front door, out to the car, get in the car, close the door, the car drives away.
This was so weird.
He says, I gotta run. He goes, I gotta run. Chugs it down, because as soon as he gets into the thing and the door starts to close, it goes back to regular speed. So I think that's because probably that suit and all that's on him that he can't move around very much, which granted, they didn't need to show him go all the way to the thing. To the hearse, but I think that's supposed to be they sped up so that we think Herman's actually running.
Yes.
Even though it's like you can still tell he isn't making any different of his motions from walking. It's just
it was just a weird scene.
Yeah.
Like, this was very excessive. Like, oh, cool. Okay, we're gonna watch Herman walk all the way through the house to get to the car. Okay.
Yeah, Derek's right on the mind. They just crap. We need extra time. Well, we have this whole scene here where Herman walks out. It's like a minute and a half. Speed it up. He's running, so let's speed it up, and we'll make our cut where we need to.
Yeah, calling Joe Connolly to write in an extra scene of Herman running in. Maybe that's where he got his writing credit.
Yeah. What do we need here? Make Herman run.
So then we get this really interesting transition back. So we saw Herman hop in the car closes and drives away. We cut back to Grandpa going, wrong. It's his contract that Herman signed. So it's like there was conversation prior to that. But we weren't privy to it. So we have to piece it together. The first time in Munster's history where they don't lay out everything. Like they don't go, can you believe that Herman signed a 10-year contract? A 10-year contract? Let me look at it. And they see Grandpa looking at it. Yep, it's a 10-year contract. And then he consternates over it. And Marilyn goes, what's wrong? Wrong?
Yeah.
It's this contract that Herman signed. But instead, we got Herman running out to the car. So it's really weird.
But also, the way that he says it makes me think that somebody said something where, like, the little opposite thing. Like, like saying wrong to be, like, a good thing. And then Grandpa's like, wrong? No, it's this contract. It's all crap. Because it just seems weird to have that there, like not necessarily somebody. Because if somebody were just asking him what's wrong, I don't think he would respond back with wrong, like a questioning wrong thing. It sounds like somebody tried to make the silly like joke where something is, dark and gloomy because it's the Munsters, and said wrong for whatever reason, and that's where. But for some reason they forgot to turn the tape on. I don't know.
It was weird. It was very weird. We'll never know. That's the mystery, I guess.
They forgot to turn the fast forward thing on or off right away, and so they lost a couple seconds.
Yes. Oh, it was probably in fast motion for that first bit. Yeah, that to cut it.
Dang, we don't have Lily telling us everything that just happened. Darn it. Just cut it right here to Grandpa. It's fine.
Grandpa goes, he signed up for 1,500 lessons at $7.50 a lesson. And they're trying to do math in their head, and Eddie chimes in, well, that's $11,250. Thanks, Eddie. But that's really just the tip of the iceberg, because there's a life insurance policy where the school is beneficiary. There's a lien on the house. There's attachment on the car. He waives all of his rights as an American if there's legal action. Lots of things in this contract that are not up to snuff. Marilyn wants to know what are you going to do, Grandpa? And this is the part that goes against the last 5 episodes. Lily says, well, we can't let him know he's been taken. He's so sensitive. He'll go into his shell. Normally, they would just scream at Herman until he beat him into submission.
Each one of them would have had their turn to really just let him have it. Yeah.
And this one, no. He's too sensitive. He'll go into his shell, where Grandpa says, did you marry a man or a lobster?
I like that line.
But Grandpa, he's got a plan. He's going to take care of it all. He's going to turn the school into a swamp, the owner into a frog, the teachers into lizards, and then I'll become an alligator and hunt him down.
Yes, so a hungry alligator.
Which was a pretty good plan.
Yes.
And Lily says something like, we can't always be thinking about your pleasures. And then Eddie says, oh, you'd never let Grandpa have any fun, which I really enjoyed.
I like that. That plan was amazing. I'll turn myself into an alligator, a hungry alligator. You could see where he's going.
Yeah.
He's going to go
It was a really good
everyone.
plan.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Lily's like, we got to think of something because he's got another class tonight. Back in Havenmeyer's office. He's on the phone again. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Hangs up. Miss Valentine walks in. Happy. He just got a tip that the cops are going to do an investigation on the school. So he's got people on the inside tipping him up. And he says
every good dance studio does, Derek.
Yes. Well, they usually send in someone acting like a clod who can't get out of his own way. And then once we have him, once we feel like we got him where they want him, that's when the cuffs come out. So right at that time, Herman's like, yoo-hoo, Miss Valentine, Twinkle Toes is here.
Twinkle Toes.
Yes. Miss Valentine thinks that Herman is that clod. Speaking of clods, this guy out here is like clod number 1. He can't get out of his own way. She didn't think Herman was legit from the beginning. Happy's like, oh, they're starting early. We need to check in on this guy. Then, so they're in Havenmeyer's office.
Yep.
They walk out. Remember when Herman and Miss Valentine were dancing before? Havenmeyer's office was shaking. They get out of Havenmeyer's office, take a left, walk down the hall, take another left, walk down the hall, walk past some people, come up to Studio A, right where Herman's at, where they were at before. So Happy Man walked on the Studio A. They crack the door to see Herman sitting at the table. Oh, I love this so much.
Yes.
Herman's sitting there, and he's just jamming out to some music. He's like, fingers in the air, bob in his head. Man, he was having a good old time.
Yeah. I love that. Seriously, this is Herman. He's just, I'm falling for his gentle charm as well.
Yes. I'm in love with Herman and his gentle charms. The episodes like this where he's just like, there's just like something about him where he's just, there's a level of innocence and gullibility and naivete. That's whatever. It's just fun. Happy pulls his head back. That's the weirdest disguise I've ever seen. Cops are really reaching this time. Then he says, he looks like a cross between Lil Abner and Ramses II, which was a unique combination. I wonder if the king of insult comics, Don Rickles, came with that himself.
Oh, you know, I bet you're right. Yeah.
So Miss Valentine's like, what do we do now? And Happy says, well, we need to be honest. Tell him that after analyzing his dancing, he has no talent and we're refunding his money. And they go in, and that's when we get this.
But, Dr. Havermeyer, Miss Valentine, you must be kidding me.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Munster.
You mean I won't be a dancing teacher?
No. Upon analysis, we find your dancing to be crude and awkward, and your coordination is atrocious. You have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
But I want to be a teacher. And maybe get to Broadway, and then get to Hollywood. And become a big dancing star like Gene Kelly. And get to meet people like Kirk Douglas and Nick Adams and all those big shots.
I'm sorry. It is our decision to return your money, tear up your contract, and discontinue your lessons.
But you can't do that. I mean, I promised to go to parents' night with my niece and do the foxtrot and the bunny hop, and well, now I'll just look silly and stupid. Don't want to look stupid and silly. I don't want to. 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 I don't want to.
And at that point, a record flies up off of the record player, zooms to the corner, slices a plant in half, comes back over right past Rickles' head, goes up into the ceiling, and a bunch of shit falls from the ceiling. And you're like, holy cow.
Yes.
Herman, with those reality warping powers of his, sent a record.
It's very annoying because you get this like very almost like vulnerable moment of Herman. Like, I don't want.
There's nothing almost about it.
Yeah, he is shook by the fact that he's not going to get the rest of his dance lessons, and he's going to embarrass Marilyn. He feels so bad about it and doesn't want people to think he's stupid and silly. And then they throw the just a dumb record flying through thing, and I'm like, oh, what a way to ruin a great moment.
I bet you it's one of those things that's like, oh, it's almost getting a little too serious. You need to cut it.
Can't be too real. Yeah.
Yep. So after that performance, Miss Valentine says, well, what do you think? And then Don Rickles says, well, not the Happy says, I think it's the best performance by a police officer since Pat O'Brien. Keith?
He came to be called Hollywood's Irishman in residence, along with good friends like James Cagney, etc., and a few others. He was part of what was called the Irish Mafia of U.S.-born Irish playing actors, I guess. I was trying to think what was he excels in roles as a beneficent man, men, but could also give convincing performances as wise guy or con artists.
Yeah,
popular during the 30s and 40s.
There you go. Very of the time reference. So Rickles, he doesn't buy it. Cut to Marilyn Lilly walking down the stairs. Marilyn, I told my date we'd meet them at the dance. Looks like a good idea, because last one that came here had some kind of weird attack out front.
That tends to happen.
What's that?
So that tends to happen with these.
It does
these
every
dates.
time.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's parents' night, and they're still taking a date. Also,
I don't know. It's whatever. It's just like a social opportunity. Maybe it's like a double date thing. I don't know. So they're like, I wonder if Herman's pulled the car around yet. Nope. He's sitting on the couch and he hasn't even gotten dressed. Herman, I'm not going.
Oh.
But the girls have been looking forward to it. And you took those dancing lessons. And you brought that tuxedo home from the parlor and everything. Which I enjoyed. He's stealing tuxedos off horses. No. Last night they tore up my contract and gave me my money back and told me to get lost. Herman defeated. He realized he needs to face the truth. It is kind of sad. And he says this line, which was a very creative thing. When you add it up on the big scoreboard of life, Herman Munster is just a big, awkward clod. Herman, just so defeated.
Yes. Never seen him this low, I don't think.
No, but the girls need to go and enjoy themselves. And Lily, if someone asks you to dance, you do it. And while he holds you tight, don't give one thought to your faithful husband sitting here with his shriveled up old father-in-law.
Yes.
Grandpa loves the compliment.
Yes.
You're all heart.
That was amazing.
I love that line. It was just the shriveled up old father-in-law. And I'm just like, oh man, Herman. Laying it on thick, the guilt trip. Herman's pushing him out the door. She's like, just go, we'll be here, and they leave. And Herman to Grandpa, you know, shrivel? I mean, Grandpa.
That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
You know, Herman calls him that behind his back. Like,
just calls him shrivel.
Yes. It slipped out that one time.
I feel real good because I did the right thing. And the Clockbird, 100% in Clockbird character, says,
what a cornball.
Yes, he does, because he's always says something along those lines. Then you hear off camera, Lily screams out in pain. Oh, come quick. Aunt Lily fell on the porch. I think she sprained her ankle. Herman runs out there and helps her back in. Marilyn, Lily's like, just put me on the couch. Then Marilyn tells Grandpa, for some reason, because Grandpa is the biggest blabbermouth in the whole house.
Yeah.
That Aunt Lily pretended to sprain her ankle so she could stay home with Uncle Herman. Marilyn, which should be fine for Marilyn, right? Her date's there still.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then Grandpa does this, like, almost into the camera. Oh, boy. This family's come a long way from Transylvania when we used to pound steaks into each other.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like that's just how vampires are tough, I guess.
They, like, killed each other? That's interesting.
Killed them.
I mean,
killed them good.
Your son-in-law just said some nice, even though he called you shriveled, he did it in a nice manner. Mm-hmm. Your daughter has now just done a very nice thing as well, and you're still upset, like, oh man, we used to stake each other in the heart. Why can't we do that again?
We're getting soft.
Yeah. But I think about in the good old days when, each vampire had a stake behind their back ready to just stab at any moment. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know about this ending. I don't like it. I think Herman should have went anyways. I don't like this. It's a weird message, I think. Like, who cares if you're, that's fine. Don't let people judge you for, just say go have fun. He enjoyed the dancing. Like,
yeah.
I thought it was a weird way to end it, I guess. Like, they should have convinced him to go, I think.
See, I thought that's what it was going to be. Was Lily hurt her ankle, and it's like, Marilyn needs somebody to go, and Herman was still going to go.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, Lily's faking it so that Herman will still go with. The fact that she did it just so she could stay behind with him. And why does Grandpa go? He always wants to get invited places.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of different things that could have happened here. Like the moral of the story could have been like, anyone can dance. Right?
Yeah.
Dancing comes from inside. It's like a Footloose sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, this is a good end to the thing overall, though. I mean, the Grandpa joke is a little bit, but like this seems to wrap up the episode pretty nice.
Yeah, but we still come back from a commercial. Lily comes out the back door to the backyard, and when this wrap up happened, I thought that the Amazon stream was messed up, and I had a different episode.
Oh my god! I'm like, what happened to my DVD? Did I hit a button? Like, did I start to doze off and press a button to jump ahead? What's going on here?
Yep, I figured we were gonna get them all dancing in the living room again or something like that. Nope. Lily comes out to the backyard, and Herman and Eddie, or as they're known together, Hermie, are in the backyard playing baseball.
Yes, this is a whiplash. I agree with you guys. I was like, whoa, this is so different than what we've seen. I thought we still had like 15 more minutes to go. Like, it's crazy.
Such a strange transition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What you're doing out in all this bright sunlight? Daddy's practicing baseball. And then Herman explains it. Well, the reason I'm out here, there's a father and son baseball game at Eddie's school, and I'm going to be ready. I'm not going to make a fool of myself like at the dance. And he's like, well, be careful. Herman, please. This is my game. Now watch. Whenever anyone says, now watch this, or now get ready for this, it's never good.
It's like, hold my beer or whatever. Like, you you should stop whoever says that no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
He tosses up the ball, gives it a good swing. Solid crack of the bat. he hits a line drive that bounces off the wall less than a foot from Lily's face. Bam! Right there off the wall. Bounces off the side of the house right next to Lily. Ricochets back and hits Herman square between the eyes. Herman falls. He is out cold. And everybody's just like, Eddie walks over, grabs the bat. Should I bring him inside? Lily says, no, leave him there. The carpool will be here in 10 minutes to pick him up. Eddie looks back at him. The camera focuses in on Herman. Credits.
They just leave him out there on the lawn?
I don't think that they needed this, like, again, because we were all like, what did we jump to a new episode? It didn't seem like they necessarily needed that, but I do like the wrap-up thing of, the carpool will be here in 10 minutes anyhow. I actually think it's a pretty good line compared to what we normally get.
Yeah, it was decent. It also implies that Charlie's going to get out of the car and come drag Herman out of the backyard. When he's just honked in the past, so...
Mm-hmm. You know he's not going to put up with that. He'll just honk until Herman wakes up.
He'll honk twice and then take off.
Yep.
Herman's out cold.
Yeah. Could be dead.
All that overgrowth, and he's not going to see him sitting there in the grass anyway.
That's like Terry's. He could be dead. He sure could be.
Or, I mean, I guess in a way he is or isn't. I don't know how life creation works.
Frankenstein monster.
Yes.
Exactly. Oh, right. So that was episode 22. Dance with me, Herman. What did you guys think?
I actually enjoyed most of this episode. We haven't had any of those episodes where they like really, layer on the Frankenstein's monster lines in a while. And it seems like they're catching up for that in this episode because they said a lot of things and only a few,
5 or 6 of them. Yeah.
Only a few of them actually hit, like the 2 right feet thing that worked in the beginning part. But there's a few too many of those kind of shoved in here compared to what we've seen like the last 3 or 4 episodes that really kind of make it that kind of lower the score a little bit for me. But overall, I actually did enjoy this episode. It's Herman goes out and about, and the fact that nothing super crazy happens as far as like nothing like. The wilting flower. You get the record that flies off, and the lady has to wear glasses, but like her glasses don't do anything weird any weird physics when Herman's around. And she seems to only need him the first time too. She's openly laughing when they're doing like the crazy dances they're doing, the bunny hop and stuff like that. When they're behind the shade or they show the shadow and all. So like she seems to be having a good time around him stuff, and also Don Rickles being in the episode was great too.
Sure.
Yeah. Solid episode.
Yeah, I like this one a decent amount. I think there's like a lot of stuff in here that's really funny. There's a few parts that I genuinely like seeing Herman just laughing in joy as he's dancing. Like he looks like he's having such a fun time. Fred Gwynn, he sells it whenever Herman's just doing this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, but it's just weird that I don't like the ending very much. I don't think that's a weird message for me where it's like, anyway, I guess you should just give up, Herman, and not go to the dance.
Yeah.
Like, I think he should have went anyways or something. It just was a weird bookend. And then, I mean, of course, the weird bookend of suddenly they're playing baseball. Strange. I mean, there's a couple moments, like we mentioned, where it's like, that just feels like they're prolonging the scene because they're buying for time. But I think the good outweighs the bad. I think all the good stuff is actually really good. And then the bad stuff is not like bad enough to really be a detriment. It's just kind of weird. Except for that ending, maybe, I think is that does take it down a couple notches for me.
Yeah, the ending is way out of left field. No, absolutely no pun intended there.
The Eddie's nickname one is another good episode where like Herman does that whole speech about, you shouldn't worry about what you look like, blah, blah, blah. And then, that's for you. But for me, I don't want to be embarrassed and look silly.
Yeah.
That is something Herman would do, to be fair, I think, yeah. He's like, I wouldn't want to be seen outside with that hideous boy with the beard or whatever, like, or as a bat or whatever he said that one episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of, like I said before, I love episodes where Herman is just goofy, and he's 100% goofy. And in the moment of the Herman, I loved all that stuff. Mm-hmm. The story itself, pretty lame. It is 100% every other story they've ever done. They did steer left when it's like, well, here's Grandpa whipping up a potion. Like, here comes the hijinks. Herman can't stop dancing for 48 hours or something like that. Nope. So they avoided that trap, which was nice. The thing they didn't do, which I was really hoping they would, because Lily says, boy, the female teachers, I hope they don't fall in love with Herman and his gentle charms. And then like you said, Terry, you see Miss Valentine. Seems like she's enjoying herself with Herman, right? They're dancing and having, like, I really wanted it to be at the end where it's like, I'm supposed to rip you off, but I can't do that, right? It just didn't happen.
Also, I know you and I have the DVD. So when you go to bring up like the episodes selection, it's a picture of Herman and her dancing, and she's got the glasses on. When Lily says that, I'm like, is this lady gonna be blind? And so she can't tell, and so she's just like, Herman's charms are all there, and she just can't see that he's this Frankenstein's monster.
No, that's
a good premise. That's gonna come up later, I think.
It's gotta. Yep. But yeah, the mixed message of like, I'm no good, just do without me, and then the weird ending spoiled it for me. Otherwise, it was an okay episode. I do like Herman stuff. Herman was great. The clock was out of character. Lily was out of character. Eddie is a math wizard, apparently. Just lots of weird little things. That's okay.
Yeah, that's just the Munsters for you. Lots of weird little things happen. They kind of just do whatever they want. Yeah.
So with that all said, after we watched episode 22, Dance With Me, Herman, what broke the babysitter? I think Keith already has his.
Oh, yeah, I do. The thing that breaks the babysitter is when Eddie does his quick math, and she has to realize that, oh, no, it's $7.50, not $750, and Eddie's math was right and not off by 4 zeros. I think that probably breaks the babysitter. Like that number didn't come out right. $750 per episode or per lesson. That's what he says. $750, not $7.50. Well, once she realizes that breaks her.
Well, $7.50. Boy, if you think about it, right? $7.50 times 7. That's over $50 in a dance lesson in modern money.
Yeah, but when she pulled out her calculator and did it, was $1,125,000 for these dance lessons over 15 years, and that's when she then realized that $7.50 probably made a little more sense.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's definitely what broke the babysitter is when she realized the math was wrong.
Boy, I'll tell you what, the babysitter didn't break. She didn't flinch at $750 a lesson. That's like $5,000.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's originally what would have broken her, but then she realized that, oh no, I totally took the number wrong. It's the 1960s and not modern times, and there's no way that you would add up something that would cost that much money. Yeah, there's no way somebody would punch that.
So she's blown away by Eddie's math skill or her inability to understand
her mistake of thinking that Eddie gave the wrong number. And calculating out multiple times herself and going, no, it's over $1 million. What's he talking about?
Sure.
There's no way.
It's over $10 million.
That's 1 million something.
Oh, $5,000. Well, I guess if you take modern money, right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Not go ahead. Terry. Next.
Yeah. Oh boy. So I think what would break the babysitter is, so she's taking some dance lessons in her time too, but there was a horrible accident that happened a while back where, like, I guess maybe she didn't quite understand it. The paper wasn't clear, but the story was that it got, like, maybe it was torn down and the swamp was there, and there's a ravenous alligator, like, eating things, and so they had to, like, tape it off. Nobody could go to that building anymore. And she's really thinking about that, and then she hears Grandpa mention his master plan, and I think something clicks, and she realizes that, I think maybe the hungry alligator was somebody she's a little familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she never could look at him the same way again.
She used to go to one of those wine and paint places. Yes. And then they ripped off Grandpa one time.
Yep.
And then it wasn't there anymore. It was just a swamp. No.
Terry, I gotta say this: the Babysitter's World that you keep creating each week is I love it every time.
Yeah, it is expands beyond the confines of the episode.
Yes.
I've loved each time I hear it because I'm like, I picked something just out of the episode, and then Terry comes in with, well, there's this whole backstory about how she was, her place she used to like to go to suddenly was a swamp, or her and Herman are always hanging out doing ham radio stuff, and all these things. I've really noticed over the last few episodes that you do that, and it's making me laugh a lot. That like you've created this whole like huge backstory world for a lady who was in one episode so far.
Yep. Well, that's what I do, I guess. I'm a world builder.
yeah.
That's what I've said that about you several times now.
Yes. I've got the IMs to prove it.
So, Keith, you already that's why I figured you already had yours, because you had mentioned earlier that the only person to ever play the harp was the babysitter. And I thought you were going to make a reference to that. I'm like, well, Keith's already got his figured out. And then you came up with the weird math thing. I was like, well, that's
because there's no way that the babysitter saw what was going on and said, 750 times 1,500 is not the number that Eddie just said. There's no way she did that. There's no way she calculated it out multiple times and never noticed that it was $7.50 until you recapped everything. There's no way she did that.
Oh yeah, the babysitter would never have done that.
No, not a chance.
Usually until she got broken. Yeah. I thought the harp.
No,
yeah,
I think
no.
Keith just revealed to us that he has no.
That the
concept of how
babysitter
much
does
things
not.
cost.
That the
How much is a
babysitter
gallon of milk, Keith? I don't know, $50.
$1.99. No, I don't know.
No concept. A dance lesson at $750 a piece, twice a week for 10 years.
I honestly thought that. I rewound it multiple times. I'm like, Eddie's math seems off. It's $750 a dance lesson. I have no idea what dance lessons cost. I don't know but I don't know why. Like even for 1964, like $7.50 is probably a lot for a dance lesson, especially if you spread over 10 years. But the math seemed very, very odd to me, and I redid it a couple times. Yeah,
I see that Keith may have been broken as well.
Yeah,
I almost broke my abacus. That's for sure.
I have an embarrassing admission. I have no idea how much a dance lesson costs either, but I do know they're not $750 a piece.
Yeah,
this is just a lot of confessions. That's
and no matter what year it is, I do know they're that. What broke the babysitter? This conversation.
I would agree. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the cat just fell on the stairs.
Did it land on its feet?
No, I don't know. I can't see it. I just heard it. I made like a sudden movement, and the cat was scared and fell down the stairs. Hi, cat. All right. Oh boy. Whew. I don't even remember how we do this. Keith.
Sure. What's up?
We made it to the end. Why don't you take this opportunity to tell the people something good?
Well, I don't know if it's good, but it might be great. That was great, wasn't it? Season 2 comes out in the first week of September, and we'll be taking.
Is it Hammerman?
Because
you alluded to that earlier.
Nope. That will never be done. We are going to watch. We're going to jump on those, ride those Cobra Kai coattails for a while, and watch the Karate Kid cartoon.
Okay.
Nice, exciting.
When's that start?
The first Tuesday of September, I do believe.
Well, there you go. The day after Labor Day.
Not former friend, but a friend of the Pop-Up Filmcast, Megan Danger, first guest of the new season.
Former friend, now enemy. You guys recorded apparently, so
it's an enemy of the podcasts.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds great. Terry, how about yourself?
Oh, I've got another show I do, Run the Reel. You can check it out if you want. It's a movie podcast. We do like categories.
You're always so. You can check it out if you want. So like nonchalant. I don't care. It's up to you. Do whatever you want.
That's my marketing technique. You gotta play it cool. You gotta be like, if you want. It's not really a big deal. We just cover different categories right now. I think we might be actually on a slight break. As we mentioned, I was off on adventures for the last couple weeks or so. So, yeah, there's probably going to be a little bit of a hiatus going on. But you can still listen to the last few episodes or whatever episode you want. Yeah, because we do movies. If you've seen the movie, you should listen to the episode and tell us what you think.
Nice.
It's called Run the Reel. I don't know if I even actually said that or not. But
nope,
yeah, that's what it's
sure
called.
Didn't. It's definitely not Run the Reels. It's
Not Run the Reels. Yeah.
No fool would do that.
Yeah. If I heard that name, that might break me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm already broken. This episode it's left me in shambles. As for me, I've got something. It is the Munster Hunters Patreon. Make sure you go to patreon.com/Munster Hunters or go to munsterhunters.com and click the Patreon button, or whatever. Just search Munster Hunters Patreon in Google and it'll probably come up. Anyway, we're doing a thing. We're giving you a couple free. I mean, Keith alluded to it earlier, right?
Yeah.
For a small, small, like for the cost of less than a cost of a cup of coffee a day. Way less. Way less, because coffee's like $5-6 depending on what you get.
For the cost of less than a dance lesson is how much.
Definitely less than a dance lesson. You get 10 years of this Patreon for less than one of Keith's dance lessons. I mean, easily. I mean, yeah. So, like a year it'd be $60. 10 years would be $600. And Keith thought a dance lesson was $750. So, anywho. So $5 a month gets you a couple extra bonus stuff, some anything that we come up with that's fun. We are going to just be experimenting and being goofy and doing Munster related things. We've talked about the unaired pilot. We've traversed the Munsterverse of madness.
Yes.
And then who knows what else is in the future? Probably some Scuma stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some tabletop role-playing games. Who knows what's going to happen? It's just going to be a world of fun, and when we find stuff that works, we're just going to run with it, and
that's true.
It's just going to be fun.
Yeah, let us know if you got ideas. Yeah, if you got anything you want us to do or talk about, hit us up. We'd love to hear suggestions as well.
Munsterhunters at Gmail, at Munster Hunters on all the socials. Make sure you follow us, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. I don't like to make those pleas, but I'm here. If you made it this far, you can listen to it.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm shameless. Please subscribe.
No, I know you are shameless.
Yeah.
And then I guess that wraps it up. So until next time, we're going to have to do what we always do.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone fast with a girl named Bo. But somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV.
Hey, this is like extended cut.
But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star.
Boy, the bass with it. That's in verse 2.
This is the long version. Wow.
I've never spent much time in
This is the
school,
intro to the
but I
episode?
told ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Dude, that's a banger.
The Munster Hunters are Derek Glascock, Keith Gawla, and Terry Vickroy. Keith is the host of the Pop-Up Filmcast, and that was great, wasn't it? Both shows can be found wherever you subscribe to podcasts. For more about Keith's shows, you can follow Pop-Up Filmcast on Twitter at Pop-Up Filmcast. And that was great, wasn't it? At How Great Was That? You can also follow Keith on Twitter at KG3030. Terry is one of the hosts of Run the Reel. It's a movie podcast that does deep dives on films with a theme. You can follow Run the Reel on Twitter at Run the Reel. You can also follow Terry on Twitter at Terry_Vickroy. If you would like more musings from me, you can follow on Twitter at Derek the number 9 and the word 9. Follow Munster Hunters on Twitter at Munster Hunters and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice for more Munster Hunter fun. Munster Hunters is mixed and edited by me, Derek. All original music is composed and mixed by Terry Vickroy, and executive producers are me and Keith Gawla. The Munster Hunters is a Crispy Dodo production.